Assalamu alaikum. There is currently a significant amount of clutter and circus behavior occurring within the mainstream Dawah community. Following the public debates between Sister Cora, the Tammy, and Itachi, Brother Muslim Lantern uploaded a video expressing his views on the matter. The issue with his video was not his core message. He was rightfully criticizing the decline in standards, such as defaming opponents, using loose language, and showcasing dominance over laymen. However, by suddenly jumping into the topic of women giving dawah within that same critique, he inadvertently caused a firestorm. This led to misunderstandings and the creation of reactionary content, where his words were turned into clickbait. To be clear, Muslim Lantern did not issue a blanket prohibition on women in dawah. He criticized a specific approach. It is my intention to address these issues one by one, moving away from the left-wing or right-wing tribalism and basing our stance purely on Islamic jurisprudence, the understanding of the Salaf, the Quran, and the Sunnah. The main question is not, can women give dawah? That is a settled issue in Islamic scholarship. The real question is the way some sisters are currently conducting dawah acceptable? For instance, engaging in a public debate exclusively with other women, Sister Cora did, left no room for criticism. The issue arose when Sister Itachi engaged in a 3v3 debate where she was the only female speaker. She herself has previously quoted scholars emphasizing the necessity of avoiding free mixing with the opposite gender.
As is a very reputable scholar who is, upon the Aqidah of the Salaf. So his take on this is definitely an important thing that we should also consider when it comes to this discourse. So, inshallah. So this is what it says. It says, "Praise be to Allah and blessings and peace be upon the Messenger of Allah. Women, like men, are obliged to call people to Allah and to enjoin what is good and forbid what is evil, because the texts of the Quran and Sunnah indicate that, and the words of the scholars clearly state that. So women have to call people to Allah and enjoin what is good and forbid what is evil, following the guidelines of Sharia, just as men are required to do. A woman should not be deterred from calling people to Allah by feelings of anxiety or lack of patience because of some people looking down on her, insulting her, or mocking her. Rather, she has to put up with that and be patient. If she thinks that people are mocking her or making fun of her in some way, then she should pay attention to something else, which is that she should be the best example of observing hijab in front of non-mahram men and avoiding mixing freely."
However, she appeared to violate that very principle in this setting. This inconsistency is what the controversy is actually about. The established ijma, consensus, of the fuqaha jurists is that women are permitted to give dawah. The problem lies in the methodology. Let us look at what the four schools of thought establish as the adab, etiquette, and boundaries. The Hanafi school focuses on the prevention of harm. Jurists establish that women must forbid evil and invite others to Islam, provided it does not lead to greater public harm or fitna. Imam al-Qasni states in Bada'i al-Sanai that enjoining good and forbidding evil is an absolute obligation upon every individual capable of doing so, regardless of gender. However, citing Surah Al-Azab 33:32, "Do not be soft in speech," scholars clarify that a woman's public dawah to unrelated men is restricted if it involves an unnecessarily attractive or softened tone. Her dawah should remain firm and factual. The Maliki school frames the obligation around istida'ah, capability. Imam Ibn Abi Zayd al-Karawani states in his Risala that enjoining good and forbidding evil is a duty upon anyone with the capacity to do so. Imam al-Qurtubi, in his Tafsir al-Jami Liakam al-Quran, explicitly uses Surah at-Tawbah to show that the very validity of faith is tied to this action, applying equally to women within their physical and social capabilities. The Shafi'i school distinguishes between fard ayn, individual obligation, and fard kifaya, communal obligation. Imam al-Nawawi writes in Sharh Sahih Muslim that enjoining good is a communal obligation. If a sufficient number of people perform it, the rest are excused. However, it becomes an individual obligation if one is the only person capable of correcting an evil or explaining a ruling. The Hanbali school maps Dawah to boundaries, privacy, and avoiding ikhtilat, free mixing. Imam Ibn Qudamah states in Al-Mughni that while a woman is legally capable and addressed by the commands of the Sharia, her actions are bound by what protect her modesty and prevents exposure to what is forbidden. Relying on the hadith regarding the shepherd and their flock, they deduce that a woman's foundational dawah priority is within her own sphere. So based on everything that I have presented, we need to filter out the work of our sisters. 1. Engagement in public debates with males. This was main core of the controversy, and yes, it's against Islamic jurisprudence. Salafi scholars like Ibn Taymiyyah emphasize that even if she's willing to go for dawah, she does it with her mahram. Both of them didn't observe this. While Sister Cora's debate has no room for error, she engaged in only female debate. Sister Itachi violated the rule. 2. Engaging in direct debates with males. Speaking to them online doesn't negate the fact that he's a male. This is highly discouraged. Speaking to females is appropriate and is done by them already, which is appreciated. But their direct engagement with male debaters is a total violation of this rule, and no female Sahabi or blessed wives of the Prophet engaged in debates with non-Mahram, non-Muslim men. Everything else is all right. We must acknowledge the elephant in the room, Western influence. Women raised in the West are often accustomed to public speaking and free mixing. While I do not blame individuals for inheriting the values of their environment, those values must be tempered and corrected by the boundaries of Islamic jurisprudence. If Islamic rules are being violated, it is our duty to correct them based on objective scholarship, not personal agendas. My stance is based purely on the principles of the deen. If there is evidence to the contrary, I welcome it. My only intention is to stop the unnecessary quarrels that divide the Ummah and fuel those who wish to see Islam ridiculed. We must move past the personality-driven circus and return to the principles of the deen. Jazakallah khair.